What up, guys? And Death Shirt, first of all, fucking awesome. I know it's backwards in the camera, but whatever. So, what's for today's agenda? The brand new fucking Meshuggah album. It's the hypest shit. Just kidding. You might notice a little music in the background. This is actually the last track of the album, which I'll get to in a little bit. So, Meshuggah is a band that has become world renowned for their ultra complex time signatures and song structures. They've also been called. They're also called the fathers of the djent genre, which includes bands such as Terrasek, if I'm saying that right. Obviously Periphery, even Protest the Hero, and Strapping Young Lad would also gain influence from Meshuggah. So on this album, well, let's get a little more into them. So as for that, they're kind of an extreme experimental band, along with the djent label, but more of an extreme experimental band. It makes sense. So let's talk about this album. First of all, this is another fantastic product from every album. They've yet to deliver a really crappy album or any albums. It's really a nice listen. So this album is it's been like 5 years since 4 years since Obzen, which was their last album, which was a really good one as well. I might get to that in the future, like a discography review. No, we're not here for that. So let me first describe the sound of this album. This is probably, I'm going to say this right now, this is probably Meshuggah's most accessible album they've ever made. Which at first you think, whoa, have they lost their edge? Not at all. And let me explain by accessible. The first thing I instantly noticed is that, especially with certain tracks like The Last Virgil, which is an all-instrumental track, there's a good amount of melody, and when the melody comes in, it's perfectly set and absolutely really helps add to the music, because I noticed on Obzen it was very low melody, which has been low on Meshuggah's list for a while now. Didn't have any melody, just kind of got repetitive with always crushing riffs. This time around, though, they've really added a good amount, not overdosing it, or putting in like technical death metal bands do, like Decrepit Birth, but they've added in specifically marked places that really adds to the song and help keeps it fresh, keeps it very memorable, keeps it one of your favorites. Now, if I had to characterize the sound of this album, it would definitely be a mix between like Destroy, Erase, Prove, and Nothing. Let me explain that. Certain tracks in here have a heavy amount of groove. Let me just turn it off for a sec. A certain amount of tracks on here have some heavy amount of groove. Perfect examples: Don't Look Down, and the album opener, I Am Koloss. Well, and Behind the Sun is another one. These are tracks with an infectious groove that just makes your head nod back and forth and remembers why the whole djent genre came into place, with these great, heavy, very notable, very stuck in your head grooves that really are cool. Then you have with the Destroy, Erase, Prove kind of stuff, like I said, some of the more heavier stuff, like what you heard, like Transfiction and Future Breed Machine from Destroy, Erase, Prove. A track like The Demon's Name is Severance, that sounds like Strapping Young Lad on crack. Really heavy, really brutal. It has that speed they carried on from like Ops, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of like I guess you could say like Bleed or Combustion from Obzen. Really fast, really heavy. Then you have The Hurt That Finds You Most, another heavy track, very fast, got some good riffage. Now the riffage on this album is very similar to Nothing, very groove laden. As I said before, there is some more melody in this album. A track like Break the Bones Who Suicide Gave, there's a section that kind of reminds me of the clean section of Destroy, Erase, Prove, with that little progressive section. And when, as I said, this actually has a really nice mix for anybody who thought Meshuggah can only play complex time signatures and really not add any melody to it. This really does show. Solos so far, they're pretty decent. They're not over the top as they usually are, or stuff that was on like KSV or Obzen. But they're pretty good on this album, and they're nothing over the top that Meshuggah has done. Then you have Meshuggah has always been a progressing and complex band. And if you've seen Mr. Campbell Spork's review of this album, you've seen that he says Meshuggah is like a math problem, which would perfectly identify what Meshuggah's music is kind of like. It's complex, it needs time to be solved, it's that kind of way. Then you also have some more experimental tracks. Perfect one would be the second to last track, Dimmerage, which has a very kind of like tribal drum beat over the guitar riffs, and it goes through the whole song. And of course, probably easily one of the most the most accessible song they've ever done since Soil Burn, the last Virgil. It's really, those tracks add kind of some diversity into the group to make sure it doesn't get kind of repetitive. I've seen that before, like in the new Spawn of a Session album that came out just a few weeks ago in Crusoe, which I'll probably review later on in the week. Yeah. Also, I said this was also the most accessible to date. I'll explain why. One, you've got the more melody. Obviously, Last Virgil, that section, Break the Bones with Suis Gave, and Swarm is even not too bad. Another thing is it's not pulverizingly heavy as some of their other stuff. I mean, there's obviously some songs like that, but the more thicker rhythms are obviously going to be, are not overly fast. They're really groovy, really kind of compared, a groove metal fan who's not really a fan of the more extreme sound could easily kind of get into this, that with a track like Don't Look Down. Another thing you notice is that the singer's voice, I forget his name, I know Meshuggah fans should not do that, but whatever. His voice on here sounds very natural, whereas other albums he sounded kind of like hell, straight out of hell. He sounds more natural with the screams, and it makes it easier to figure out what he's kind of saying with the lyrics. Yeah, so that takes into account, as I said before, it's their most accessible. The songs are a little shorter, even though it's a very long album, but they're a little shorter in length. Their complexity is still there 100%, but they're really trying out some new ideas here with not only the rhythmic patterns that they've done for almost 20 years now, but also with things like melody and song and tribal instrumentation, like one on Dear Marriage. Oh my god, I butchered that, but whatever. We're still maintaining that world-renowned heaviness and that whole and those rhythm patterns that started the whole djent thing, with tracks like The Demon's Name of Service and Don't Look Down. All in all, Meshuggah said this was one of the most anticipated albums from probably one of the most respected extreme metal bands, not only in the underground but in the metal community in general. And this was highly, I was waiting for this forever, and luckily when it came out, it does not disappoint. This is another strong release from a very strong band that it proves that even after 20 years and evolving continuously and demanding fan support, they can still pull out a fantastic album with new tricks added with each one. This one kind of builds it up. It's a little more friendly. You can get into it a little easier. It's definitely a good place to start if you want to start listening to Meshuggah. All in all, a fantastic album. I can't wait to see them maybe this year, maybe in April with the Decapitated Baroness, or later on with their November fall dates. So yeah, Meshuggah's Koloss. Hope you enjoyed this review. Subscribe and comment. Keep it metal. Peace.